What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Your boy is back with an episode of Sports Talk, and the NFL 2015 season is officially over. And as y'all recall, I made a prediction video in the before the season started, saying which teams were gonna have which record, and I got most of them right. I said the Patriots are going to be 13-3. I got that one right. I said my Steelers were going to be either between 11-5 or 10-6. And there were some that I got wrong. Teams that I thought were going to have a complete turnaround ended up bombing, like the San Francisco 49ers. I thought they were going to do way better than that, but it looks like they're cleaning the house next year. I mean, well, at least going into the offseason. And yeah, they fired their head coach. Colin Kaepernick probably will not be starting, and he might not even have a job there next year. Let's see, RG3 for the Redskins probably won't have a job next year, and they pretty much surprised me, but I'll get to that in a second. But it's in the here's the odd thing about it. A lot of teams this year started off with so much steam, and then as soon as halfway through the season hit, they just fell apart. Like the Atlanta Falcons, the Philadelphia Eagles. They just I don't know what the hell happened to them. Let's see who else. Oh yeah, of course the Dallas Cowboys. Like they had some kind of steam, but then as soon as like week 7, week 8 hit, that's when it started to tank, and they deserve to lose because of some of the bad decisions they made in last year's all season. And let's see, and there are some sleeper teams too. It's teams that I did not expect to do as well as they did. The first one being the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals flew all the way under the radar all year, and if I was them, that's exactly where I want to be, under the radar. So that way, if they do get to the Super Bowl, they can surprise everybody and say, "Ha, I told you so." And the Carolina Panthers, they're the hottest team going into this postseason. I expected them to do well, but damn, I didn't expect them to do this damn well. I mean, they're 15-1, and there's only 6 teams in NFL history who are 15-1 or better and actually made it to the playoffs, and 4 of those actually made the Super Bowl. So, yeah. And anyway, here is the 2015-2016 NFL playoff postseason bracket. So yeah, Wildcard Weekend is coming up this weekend, starting off Saturday. And if you ask me, which teams are the most dangerous going into the playoffs, some people would say, well, the lower seed teams are not that much of a threat because they just barely made it. But if you ask me, if you barely make it, that's more motivation to win. That makes you even more dangerous than less of a threat because you have to not only do you have to prove it to yourself, but you got to prove to everybody else that you do belong to, that you deserve to be in the postseason, that you actually do belong there, and you didn't get there on just some fluke. And I didn't expect the Seattle Seahawks to be the 6th seed at all. But I mean, shoot, we'll pretty much see how things go for them. But as far as my wild card weekend prediction, let's see who we got first. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals at home. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals have had a very good year. I don't know if it's luck with them or their I mean, well, I'm not going to say it's luck. I mean, even as a Steelers fan, I got to admit that their defense is top notch. And Andy Dalton's been playing like he wants to win. He got them as far as they did. But Andy Dalton's health is still in question. They don't know if he's going to play or even start or not. I mean, because look at their last 3 out of 4 games. So yeah, but in my Steelers, I mean, come on. There's no team that's, I mean, at least in the AFC, and at this point, there's no team that is more dangerous than the Pittsburgh Steelers. The only thing suspect about the Steelers is our secondary. Our linebackers are great, but our secondary has so many holes in it, and a team who has a running gun type of offense can take advantage of that, a la the Denver Broncos or the New England Patriots. But this game is going to be pretty interesting, especially since these teams only got 5 days to rest in between. But whether Andy Dalton starts or not, I say this is going to be a very tightly contested game. I mean, it's going to be these teams are going to beat each other up. And I say I'm going to have to give it to the Pittsburgh Steelers by 6 points. Now, the sleeper game of the entire wild card weekend, the Houston Texans versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs is another team that I ended up sleeping on. I was like, they're the Chiefs. They ain't going to go anywhere. I mean, even though they lost Jamal Charles at the beginning of the season with an Achilles injury, excuse me, an ACL injury. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, they managed to do pretty damn good. And some people say that the Texans are not a threat, but hey, they did good to they did good enough to clinch the AFC South. But the AFC South was kind of a trashy division this year, kind of like the NFC East. But I'll get to that in a second. Now, what weapons do? I mean, this is gonna be a pretty damn close match, but it all depends on the deciding factor. It's gonna come down to the fourth quarter. It's gonna be about who makes the most mistakes or who makes the least mistakes on the offensive side of the ball. What I mean by that is turnovers, sacks, fumbles, interceptions. Whoever has the least amount of those is pretty much gonna win this game. And the Houston Texans, I think they're gonna probably gonna. This is probably is gonna make them turn up more. They're gonna shift into a whole other gear now that they know it's playoff time. The Houston Texans might be the underdog and call me crazy for this, but I'm actually going to give this to the Houston Texans by a touchdown. But we'll see. Next game we got is the Minnesota Vikings versus the 6th seed, you heard me correct, 6th seed Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks kind of fell off this year. I mean, I expected them to make the playoffs as they would. I mean, because they're another one of these top-tier teams that's emerged in the past 3 or 4 years of football. And I don't know if it's just the bad play calling, or I don't know if it's because the injuries on their part. But I mean, come on! At this point in the season, who doesn't have injuries? But yeah, they might end up showing the Vikings something. But the Vikings, I mean, they've shown that they got the right stuff, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Teddy Bridgewater is a dual threat. He's got a strong arm and he can run too. And Adrian Peterson, he looks like the old Adrian Peterson. My only concern is the defense of the Minnesota Vikings. Can they hold? Can they manage to stop the Seattle Seahawks when it matters, or are we going to see Russell Wilson turn up on them and just run away with the game? But this is going to be a very good one, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say I'm going to give this to the Seattle Seahawks by 10 points. Last but not least, we've got, you like that? The Washington Redskins versus the always dangerous Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers have kind of shown some weakness. I mean, because I guess everybody else in their division, everybody else in the NFC North kind of beat them up. I mean, kind of gave them tightly contested games. I mean, come on. It's the NFC North. It's also one of the toughest divisions in football. That's to be expected. But I don't know whether to give props or to discredit the Washington Redskins, because come on, like the NFC East, they kind of played a weak division too. I mean, because come on, everybody in their division was under 500 this year. I mean, and I think somebody correct me if I'm wrong also, but the Washington Redskins were just at 500. So I guess you could just go ahead and just call them the best of the worst. But it looks like everybody is stepping up who plays for the Washington Redskins. But is that going to be enough to carry them all the way through the next round of the playoffs? And even if they do win, they have to go up against not the Carolina Panthers, but they got to go up against the Arizona Cardinals next, and that would be a slaughter fest. I mean, they're going to end up getting smoked. But I'm going to go ahead and just watch this game just for the hell of it. But I think it doesn't really even matter who wins this round of the playoffs, because whoever got to go up against the Cardinals next is pretty much going to get washed. So on that strength, I am going to go ahead and say I'm going to give this to the Green Bay Packers, possibly by 9 points or more, somewhere, I guess, anywhere between 7 and 10 points. I'm going to go ahead and just say 9, just to be on the safe side. But anyway, those are my Wildcard Weekend predictions. Y'all post your comments below, and hell, even you can leave a video response and tell me, do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? And what was the biggest shocker to you this season? For me, it was the Carolina Panthers record. And also the most slept-on team is probably, even though I said that they may lose the next round, I think probably the most slept-on team this year is probably the Kansas City Chiefs. Anyway, thank y'all guys for watching. I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.